Hey dudes and dudettes, I'm Derek with GameSomniac, and welcome back to another video. Today's video is going to be a little bit different. I don't normally do anything like this. I don't want to say that I'm calling somebody out, but I am going to be talking a little bit about a video that I had watched here on YouTube, and I just wanted to kind of put my 2 cents forth and play devil's advocate. The video I'm talking about came across my YouTube feed. I had never heard of this creator before. His name's tiredcast, and he made a YouTube video about Dead Island 2. And if you've seen my channel, the last video I made was about Dead Island 2, and I'm super excited about Dead Island 2. He is also excited about Dead Island 2, but based on how video games have been lately and certain other vaporware titles, which this game is kind of treading into vaporware territory, he's very skeptical about the game. He wants to be proven wrong, which I can totally agree with. There's definitely things to worry about as far as the development cycle, the development history of the game. There's definitely things to worry about. As I said in my own video, if there's any indication of what Cyberpunk 2077 brought to the table after so many years in development, the hype that was built up, and then what we got, I mean, it's definitely an unfortunate thing now in this day and age that we as consumers have to worry about whether or not our $60 or $70 is going to go towards a finished product or a fucking glorified unfinished tech demo. You know? Now, I thought it would be fun to just play devil's advocate because in Tiredcast's video, he talks about certain things that serve as more or less telltale signs as to why we should be skeptical about the game. Now, the dude's not far off. I mean, there's definitely things to be concerned about, but I also think there's equally enough evidence to prove that maybe the game might be okay, and that's what I'm going to talk about in this video. Now, just a quick warning, I'm not going to play anything from Tiredcast's video. If you'd like to watch his video, and I think you should totally head down to the description below. I'm going to put a link to the original video there for you guys to check out. And if you guys want to join the discussion, feel free to leave us comments on our videos and let us know where the game stands in your opinion. Alright, you guys ready? Here we go! So in Tiredcast's video, one of his main arguments is that Techland was a company that really started from the ground up, and Dead Island was its main claim to fame. They really came out of the gate swinging, and Dead Island is a beautiful game that does exactly what it sets out to do, and for the time that it came out in, I mean, it was pretty damn near perfect. I personally had some issues with the story. I don't think anyone's gonna defend the story like it's fucking Godfather tier writing or anything. I don't think we have to worry about that, but the game, as far as the actual gameplay, it's pretty perfect on all levels. You've got creative weapons, creative crafting mechanics, the gameplay is smooth, the driving's extremely good for the time. All in all, it was a pretty well-rounded game. It was really well done. Techland really made a name for themselves with Dead Island. The point being that Techland, the developer that breathed life into this game that we all know and love, no longer has any influence over the Dead Island franchise. They've got nothing to do with it from here on out. They went on to bigger and better things, which was Dying Light and Dying Light. I would have said Dying Light 2, but I'm still not hearing good things about it. Point number 2, with Techland, the original developer, now out of the way, having nothing to do with the sequel, that means we're getting us a new stepdaddy. Yep, somebody's gonna be moving into the house and sharing a bed with mama. The first of the 3 future developers to work on the game would be Jaeger, a video game development company formed in 1999 based out of Berlin, Germany. According to Jaeger's official website, the 3 games that they are best known for are Spec Ops: The Line, Dreadnought, and The Cycle: Frontier. Now, it's worth noting that Techland was always originally set to develop Dead Island 2, but then they ended up going and working on Dying Light with Warner Bros. Interactive Entertainment, and thus allowed Jaeger Development to then pitch Deep Silver the game in 2012, and then they got the deal. The game was developed between 2012 and 2014. It was then announced at Sony's E3 in 2014 with a second quarter release date in 2015. But then July 2015 rolls around and the only announcement we get regarding the game is that Jaeger had been dropped from all development on Dead Island 2. And it wouldn't be until March of 2016 that UK-based studio Sumo Digital would announce that they had taken over the game's development. Unfortunately, they wouldn't have the game for very long because in August of 2019, THQ Nordic announced the development of the game had changed hands to Dambuster Studios, which was an internal studio within Deep Silver. Now, one thing that Tiredcast in his video questions heavily was the experience that these studios had in regards to developing a sequel for Dead Island 2. Now, it's a fair point to make. As a Tiredcast clearly states in his video, Sumo Digital is a developer that makes games that really are so off the fucking radar that nobody knows about them and nobody could care about them. I mean, did you know this existed? What the fuck is this? And Dambuster Studios hasn't done anything spectacular either. They, Deep Silver put them together in 2014, so in the 8 years that they've been a company, they've only made 2 games. Dead Island 2 is their 3rd game, and the 2 games they made before this aren't fucking anything to write home about. But please allow me the audacity to propose to you just a small theory that just because it's not the original developer, it's not automatically doomed to be shit. May I remind you of a little game, just a small little ditty known as Far Cry. You see, Far Cry was created in 2004 by Crytek, published by Ubisoft. I'm fairly certain I don't have to tell any of you classy gamers out there just how popular Far Cry was. Needless to say, the game was getting a sequel. Unfortunately, the sequel we got would not be developed by Crytek. You see, the same year that Far Cry was released, Crytek struck up a deal with Electronic Arts to go work on some new shit, leaving them unable to work on any future Far Cry projects. Now, we all know that Far Cry 2 was well received, very popular, was praised by critics and fans alike, easily, considerably, the best Far Cry game out of the series, and it goes without saying that could only have been possible if Crytek gave EA the middle finger, said fuck you, and made Far Cry 2. Right? No, in fact, Ubisoft Montreal headed up the development of Far Cry 2 and made it the game that it is today. And why stop there? Let's look at the Fallout series. The first Fallout was developed by Black Isle Studios, released in 1997. They made the first game, the second game, and then Fallout 3 came out, which was developed by Bethesda Softworks. And then you've got Fallout New Vegas, which is, from what I hear, I don't play Fallout, but from what I hear, it's considerably the best game of the series, and that was developed by Obsidian Entertainment. Now, just looking at the reception statistics for Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas, both of those games were extremely popular, very well received, and they were not developed by the original developer. I mean, do I even need to mention Max Payne 3? Rockstar kind of fucking killed it with Max Payne 3. They took like a fucking New York noir, true crime story, flipped it on its fucking head, sent him to Brazil, and just totally changed everything. It granted longtime fans a brand new experience within the Max Payne universe, while also allowing new gamers to come in and take part in an unforgettable experience. Tiredcast, in his video of Dead Island 2, was very concerned with the fact that the game had been restarted by so many different developers within the development process, and that the developers who did the work didn't even have the adequate experience to be developing the game to begin with. Now, this is a totally fair point. We saw this with Cyberpunk 2077. Not that CD Projekt Red didn't have the adequate experience to develop the game. I don't know what the fuck happened with Cyberpunk 2077. I don't think we'll ever really know what happened. And hopefully Dead Island 2 is not another Cyberpunk 2077, but the gameplay looks solid. The trailers are very Dead Island. The aesthetic is there, you know? While there's enough evidence to support Tiredcast's theory that Dead Island 2 might be a red flag based on X, Y, and Z, there is equally a preponderance of evidence supporting the theory that you shouldn't count Dead Island 2 out just yet, all because it changed hands a couple of times during its development cycle. And granted, maybe these development teams are a little bit inexperienced, but I'll tell you what, Techland from 1999 to 2006 weren't creating big budget AAA titles either. They were more on par with what Sumo Digital's been creating. I mean, they created Call of Juarez in 2006, a game that actually was received very well, very positively. And after its release, they went back to making FIM Speedway Grand Prix 3, or Speedway League. But I digress. Anyway, guys, we've reached the end of the video. Like I said, I just wanted to jump on quick and play some devil's advocate. I had come across Tiredcast's video on Dead Island 2, heard his concerns, and while I share his concerns to an extent, I did feel that there was enough evidence to the contrary. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna cut it here. Let me know in the comments below what you think of Dead Island 2, if you're for it, against it. Be sure to check out Tiredcast's original video. I'm gonna have the link in the description, so you can just go from here to there. If you enjoyed the video, I'd really appreciate it if you hit the like button, try to get some more attention out there in the YouTube algorithm, and consider subscribing to the channel. I'm always talking about video games. That's all we do here. If there's something you'd like me specifically to touch on in the video game world, feel free to let me know in the comments. And for all of your video game entertainment news and more, keep it locked right here at Game Somniac. Bye-bye!